Guys. We're like shaking right now. It is almost 11 p.m. on Wednesday the 17th, D-Day, aka the finale.
The finale of the century.
The Biennale.
My heart rate is through the roof.
You were like, we were at like a little viewing party with our friend Sierra, friend of the pod, and Lara, I looked over at you at one point and Lara was like studiously taking notes and she looked shaken.
I'm shaken. I like need to collect my thoughts. I'm also, truth be told, took an edible beforehand and I'm now shaken to my core. We have entered another dimension of some sort of new era.
To be honest, I was wondering if you were on some kind of edible.
There was an edible at play, but also the finale at play.
Guys, I mean, this was, let's just like break it down.
Okay.
It was, so I woke up this morning, I saw the Uber Eats ad with Good as Gold.
Yeah.
Like, and I had a moment where I was like, okay, they've really crossed into like the new.
They're doing the damn thing.
They're in a new level of fame. They are.
I like that was your marker.
It was. Jennifer Coolidge is doing those ads and Nicholas, what's his name?
I know, they are the moment.
They're really capitalizing on this.
They are.
Bravo and
good for Scheana, to be frank, because
that was her song.
That was her song. It's a really fucking good jam.
It's a good pop song.
It's a great pop song, and I hope that this spearheads the resurgence of her pop career.
I also think it's really solidifying that she's the heart of the show. She is. She's a bleeding heart.
She's an integral part of the show.
She's like Scheana. This is the most traumatizing thing that's ever happened to Scheana.
She's rocked.
She looked genuinely like blown apart. She looked like someone had died, which I guess
someone had.
A friendship had died.
She entered bucket hat mode.
Oh, should we just get into it? I mean, this is like.
Yeah, I think so. But wait. Go back because you wanted to tell a story. I saw the Uber Eats.
I saw the Uber Eats and I was just like seeing the widespread reaction. Like I was with Sierra yesterday. She's like, my dad knows about this. And he's like not interested at all and was just like, oh yeah, that thing with the guy and the girl.
Wow.
You know, it's like crossed into like a new...
Okay.
Mango. It's late night. Come here, Porky. You be quiet. We have the boys with us.
This is Sup After Dark
It's
official,
After Dark again.
And Mango is feeling frisky.
Tony's going into loaf.
Yeah.
Mango's pooped. He's good. I just had this moment where I was like, okay, they're away from us.
Yeah.
And I said to you, I texted you and I was like, it feels like something's changed and it's not just us talking about them anymore.
Yeah, they've entered a new realm of knowledge where now everyone knows about them. And I feel, and I'm working on this, but like I feel so protective and like
gatekeepy.
I feel gatekeepy about it. And I didn't at first, but now I've entered gatekeep mode, but it's too late because the horses have run free.
Well,
the wild horses can tear me away. But I was like, oh. But also, just as Scandoval winds to a close, a new restaurant scandal is taking the town. LA was also in a tizzy.
LA was rocked today because one of the
we have to talk about this before because it is,
guys. So
you guys are about. This is actually breaking news. Boots on the ground. You're lucky to be hearing this now
it was in the LA
because
Times.
It's about. But that's still.
But no one reads the LA Times.
No one reads that, and no one cares.
But also, please write about it.
But you're going to know soon about this drama, and we're gonna tell you what's what.
Okay.
Well, we are.
Your life is now divided between before you knew this information and after you knew this information.
And this is also very LA. This is a very
so
LA story.
It's so fucking. This
LA
cannot happen in New York.
Drama.
Well,
never.
First we had Squirrel with the moldy jam, and this was like, I'll see that and I'll raise it. Mango, stop! Come on.
Okay.
Come here.
You gotta just clutch him. Okay,
so there's this restaurant. It's in WeHo. It's like halfway between where we both live.
Yeah, this restaurant used to be
Boulevard.
called the Pikey.
Right.
And it was like kind of a grungy pub.
But it's been revamped in the last few years, and it's become Horses, and it's like the place in Hollywood, West Hollywood, to go.
Yeah, it's the hardest place to get a reservation in all of the land.
I've been there once just because the person I was with knew someone, so it's like you cannot get a reservation at this
I've been there
place.
Once too, thankfully.
And
then I've been relegated to the garden ever since. I was just at the Horses Garden last week.
No.
Yes, I was like,
did you
I
feel
have
an
to just
energy?
accept that sometimes I'll have to just be garden until I can finally just get inside, because it is literally the hardest to get inside. And Horses Garden, by the way, is not so much a garden as it just is a parking lot with tables on it.
Is it behind it?
It's behind it, but I said I was gaslighting myself into being like, okay, I guess this is my spot.
It's like
now.
Saddle Ranch with the picnic tables. So it's like I was on Twitter this morning, and I saw a few people tweeting. I saw a very trusted who knows all, Caitlin Phillips, who's like this incredible publicist in New York, and she's like, if she says something, you're like, this feels real.
She knows.
I saw her talking to this other writer about some tea about horses that's like, you will not believe what you're about to hear, and you're not going to be the same. And so I was like, that's weird. And then I saw other people talking about it. So I was like, by this point, I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it. So I tweeted, does anyone have the gossip on horses? Because I need some neighborhood gossip. Because it's literally
we need something else.
It's near me. It's like a mile away from me. And I immediately got bombarded with DMs of screenshots and information that apparently, allegedly, the two owners of it were a married couple, a man and a woman. And the woman walked in on her husband, the other chef, killing a cat. Strangling a cat, allegedly while masturbating.
So the whole story is like, this married couple, they own this restaurant.
They have this lightning shot to fame.
And she and him, I guess, were at the same time like taking in stray kittens, and the kittens kept dying. And like
en masse.
It happened so often that eventually friends of theirs were like, you should maybe check your apartment for mold or like something's weird. And then one day the wife came back in because she forgot something and saw her husband jerking it while strangling a kitten, allegedly. And this was like, and then I started getting, and then I was like, damn. And then other people started messaging me being like, wait, what's the gossip? So then I felt like implicated because I was like, when you had to tell.
Well, and then I was like, wait, am I like now part of the witch hunt? And like, is this real? Am I just like, and so I was telling them, and then like one person, our mutual friend, was like, wait, are you for real? Because I work near there. And then I was like, oh no, like she's gonna think I'm. And then thankfully an LA Times article came out, because there was a New York Times article apparently coming out, but LA Times was like, we gotta rush this and beat the heat. So they wrote like a quick write-up. So they're in a divorce, and I guess this was part of her claim in their like why they're getting divorced.
In their divorce proceedings, she stated that he was abusing the cat or like strangling a cat. Didn't get as explicit as being like he was fucking stroking it while strangling a cat.
That's still unverified.
But there was like a key piece of evidence that made the rounds today. I truly do not know a single gay man who did not get this voice note that had been passed around the community. Like a friend of mine texted me who was like, you hear about the horses drama? And just dropped this voice note to me that was like a gay just breaking it down.
And it was hey, cum guzzler. And it was like something like crazy.
It was like to his friends. And then there was some, like I had seen screenshots from another friend's group text that referenced that same voice note. So and then I texted you the voice note because I was like, some evidence for Carey. And he was like, I already heard it. And so then I did try and find like one person to share with that didn't have it yet. So then I did my job passing along
feel like Ringu.
the salacious gossip.
It was Ringu. It was like the video.
You have to get rid of it as soon as you have to pass it. It was a true chain. It was OG chain mail.
It did feel really like
I sent it to 5 people.
It felt old school internet. And then I love
the town hall game. blessings, honestly. That was the highlight of my day.
The voice note. It was incredible.
The whistleblower of Los Angeles. I need that to be a daily show. Like, I want this person. I want a voice note delivered to me that's just this man telling me the newest goss on the street.
This funny guy I follow just goes, "What's your number?" And I sent it to him, and then from an unknown number, I got, "Here you go," and it was just. And I thought it was him at first, and I was like, "Oh."
I thought it was a friend of mine too.
I was like, "Oh, you're calling me like a," and he's like, "No, that's not me." And then I was like, "Oh, okay, so this is like making the rounds." Couldn't believe that part, and then a trusted source confirmed that it was all real. So this is as it's happening. We don't know all the details. We will check back in with Catgate. God bless these kitties. Apparently, he was like also joking about feeding them to coyotes. Like he was like and then now this man has apparently fled to Thailand.
Yeah, and I guess he like gave his wife allegedly a bunch of STDs from like Thai sex tourism trips that he went on.
And then
she took a cat to one of the dead kittens to the vet who was like, this cat was like abused, and then asked her husband about it. This was per the LA Times article, and he denied it. And then at the end of the LA Times article, he was like, she has gotten restraining orders on him, obviously.
Fucking John Wayne Gacy of kitties.
And was like, you also have to stay 100 yards away from our 3 dogs. And he responded, and I think to the Times, or responded in his own legal thing, and he was like, she actually abused me, and he was like, I'm scared of her, I'm scared for my life. And I love that final Hail Mary when like a cat killer allegedly has to say that they're actually scared of their wife.
So a writer from the LA Times tweeted that he responded to the article.
Oh, okay.
He said, quote, "I love cats, mice, and every other animal under God's Allah, whatever each religion calls him, her, and have loved all animals since I was a child. I have problems killing lobster." So I read that and I was like, okay, he's a sociopath.
Oh yeah, I was like,
that's what a serial killer writes.
As I'm hearing that come out of your mouth, I'm picturing him in the act of jerking it and strangling a kitten.
He brought Allah into it. He brought gods, plural.
He brought mice.
I
no
love
one
cats,
asked about that.
Mice. Yeah, what'd you do with the mice?
Like you're implicating yourself.
And
that was the guiltiest thing. I was like, so he's killed all these things. Got it. Got it.
I can't even kill a lobster. And then I immediately thought of Lindsay Lohan with the lobster. I can't save. I see. You see me saving animals.
But this is the new niche restaurant drama.
This is wild.
This is taking over.
And I saw other people being like, I'm still going to Horses. I like their burgers.
Well, I said, hey, maybe it'll be easier to get a res.
It might.
Or it might not.
Yeah, it could. I mean, this is haunting.
Look at TomTom, and I've gone millions of times since. I have lots of plans for TomTom since all the Scandoval broke. It actually skyrocketed up to my favorite restaurant in Los Angeles. So, Horses, I'll see you there. See you at my corner table.
Haunting. It is literally like I read it and I was retching. I was literally like, I cannot think of anything more terrifying than someone killing kitties.
Your life partner. There's one thing that's worse, and only one thing that's worse than your life partner cheating on you for 7 months with your best friend Raquel, and it's walking in on them strangling a kitten while masturbating.
It's like that scene in Mindhunter when she walks in BTK and he has like the woman's mask on and he's like has the rope like that's almost more normal than like the kitty.
Yeah, I'd rather have a BTK sitch, honestly. I'd be like,
I mean, I have like my immediate thought was like, if he's done this, he's done something worse.
Yeah.
No, I know, but like, I mean, that doesn't seem like that like far fetched that he's like upped it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure that this man has a lot of secrets.
It is like that fucking movie, Don't Fuck with Cats or whatever.
Yeah, just
about Luca, whatever.
Luca Magnotta. Oh yeah, he was a cat killer.
It's
sick. You're sick.
I mean, obviously, like I'm more of a dog person, but like cats are like cats are like kitties are literally so like they're kittens.
I watch like my whole TikTok algorithm is just like kitten talk.
They're the most precious little things.
They're precious jewels,
and they're so helpless. And it's like you are a rotten person, and you need to rot in hell.
Rot in hell.
I can safely say rot in hell. Anyway, so that's the new scandaloso. But let's get into the true scandal.
Okay, yeah. The Scandoval.
I'm Carey.
I'm Larry.
And you're listening to
Sexy Unique Podcast.
Pumpheads!
No!
Finale!
Okay, God.
So we
this
transitioned
episode
from Ariana and Tom going
laughing in slow motion
7 months later
to like Ringu television. It was like
yeah.
This was the Matrix too.
We started in New York City.
On the night of
March
Scheana
1st.
and Raquel's Watch What Happens Live episode.
And it's like a different filter, and Andy Cohen goes, which Tom do you think is hotter? And then they both at the same time go, Sandoval.
And everyone's like, what?
And Rachel actually she's like,
at that
point she's like, it's coming out.
Smash cut to, we are in Casa de Maddox Sandoval.
And it's a sorry state.
Yeah. Ariana's best friend, Mare, is there comforting her.
Queen.
And
Ariana looks great.
Wait,
I need water.
Okay.
Kitties. Don't touch those pretty kitties.
Wait, will you turn that off, actually?
Yeah.
I think there's a power button on top. Thank you. It's bugging me.
So we cut into like the morning after the
big reveal. And Sandoval is just like trudging around the house, still there, obviously, because he lives there.
Has his AirPods in.
And then he and Ariana sit down to like talk things out or whatnot.
Well, first Ariana breaks down what happened at Tom Tom.
Oh, yeah. So she was at Tom Tom for his
debut of his new single. What the fuck?
And his phone fell out of his pocket. She took it and then felt like she needed to look at it, found the masturbation video, and then all hell broke loose.
And there's a shot of Tom like with his sunglasses on, like looking over,
being like, ooh.
Yeah. She said, I had a woman's intuition just to look.
So they got home, duked it out, and now it's the next day and they're about to chat about it. And I've never seen Ariana like this raw.
No, and looked stunning.
But like so clear, so concise to the point, and really like honest and vulnerable. And I was like, we've never seen this version of this person on this show.
No, this interaction was like Emmy.
She broke through in a way that it's like, oh, I get who she is now. I was like, this is the best possible thing that could have ever happened to this person. She needed to be released.
Yeah.
And it's a horrible situation. Obviously, I don't wish it on her, but she needed to be released from like the chains of this relationship.
Yeah, it's like that grief lucidity where you're just like, you're so bereft that you're like, you have nothing left and all you have is like clarity.
Yeah.
And so Tom,
she's like,
scuttles over and he goes, do you want anything? And she goes, for you to die. And
he comes over and she's like, so like, I loved you when you had no money, when you were just like working at SUR, which I was like, damn, that's true. And that's actually love.
She knew him since 2009.
Yeah.
When he was like an emo kid.
Down and out, working at SUR, no money, no fame. And she's like, you got some money, you got a little band, got your house, and now, oh, you have this girl coming around who thinks you're so cool, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, damn, she really like had his number the entire time.
She did.
And he did not apologize once.
No, and we were all kind of noticing like there's a moment where he's very well, you know, they have that moment that we've all seen where he's like, me and Raquel became really good friends, and she goes, I don't give a shit about Raquel. Your friendship is bullshit. And he goes, no, it's not. And then after he like drops this like tough act, there's a moment where he like snaps into reality and he's like, oh my God, I'm losing the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah, but it's brief and I don't understand like...
It's brief. I'm not saying, but it's like you can, and then he really starts to genuinely cry. And I think it's like, there's a moment of like, oh no. And then he goes back into like delusion.
But there is no like remorse coming across in these conversations, which is like the most shocking thing about it, where he's like, oh, like I tried to break up with you. I said it was over. Like, I said I didn't, like, I wanted to break up. And she's like, yeah, but you stayed in the house. You didn't leave. If you break up with me, like, you leave and you make it happen. You didn't. And also, all of this doesn't matter because you were fucking my friend the entire time.
She kept saying that.
He's not putting it together.
She kept repeating that line. You were fucking my friend.
Yeah. Oh, like, what are you going to do about it? Maybe fuck my friend? Oh, I guess I'll just go and fuck her friend.
Every time he had like an excuse and he was he blames her. Like he keeps being like, every time you did this, she goes, you were fucking my friend, Tom.
Yeah.
And he's just like, and he always goes, oh, dude.
Dude, I know. Dude, that's what I'm trying to say.
And has he ever looked worse than in this? Like, he looks sallow. His skin he's like jaundice. Like, he has weird like blood vessels from like all the crying and screaming he probably has done.
He's in an unwell state.
And she's just basically like, I regret loving you, and I want you to hear this. You're nothing to me.
Yeah, that speech was Oscar worthy. I think that is like something that did shake him at his core for a hot second, but not long enough.
Because then he goes, well, we had some really good times.
It's good times. What the fuck?
Good times.
What are you saying?
Is this like your fraternity brother?
Yeah, we're not like reminiscing about like the old days at the beer hall.
Yeah.
It's like this is a real conversation and like a real life event
with
that's going
your
down.
Wife.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, your like spouse, and we had some good times. He's Mr. Depp.
He is Depp. He's gone full Depp.
This episode, he was old Johnny Depp.
When he went over to Schwartz's sad apartment, Schwartz opened the door and it was old emo. I was like, whoa! I literally had a jump scare.
Lara said he has Kate Gosselin hair.
He has a Kate Gosselin haircut. I also was like, his hair is that long? Like, what is happening? It was a different length. It was truly, he swept in like a vampire.
Well, he also like, so he kept, every time he said he was going to Schwartz's, he was going to fuck Raquel.
Why would Ariana ever question that? There's no reason.
He goes, she didn't follow me, man. He says that's first of all.
He apologizes to Schwartz and with more vigor and like passion, emotion and genuine sorrow than he even offered to Ariana, which is not shocking, I guess, because that's his like best. It's one true love, I think.
It is,
but like, just noted that.
Schwartz is kind of like, he keeps saying like, this is really going to affect me.
Yeah, Schwartz, all he cares about is himself.
And getting canceled, and he's just like,
what a fucking
he's a
moron.
Piece of shit. Let's just reiterate, he's a pig. And he keeps going, he's wearing his stupid like Harriet the Spy glasses, and he's like, yeah, man, he's like, this is really bad for our business, and like, you really fuck things up for me, but you know, it's okay.
But also, it's like, you knew the entire time.
He knew the entire time.
Yeah.
Like,
he also, the thing about these men, and this is such a pattern on the show, is that every time they're caught doing something they're not supposed to be doing and confronted about it, they lie. And then whenever they're pressed a little more, like for in a next conversation, they'll give up one thing and they'll be like, oh, we kissed, but that was it. Like that. And the moment you do that, this is just like a PSA to any liars out there. That's the way to not lie. If you're gonna lie, you need to come in hot and be like, you confess first and say everything, so then the person would think that you're telling the truth. But these men, like, that's a tell. Yeah. If you ask someone and they change their story, even one little tiny thing changes, you're lying the whole thing. You're untrustworthy.
It's also just like typical like men protecting each other. Like Schwartz clearly doesn't give a fuck about Ariana.
No, and he doesn't give a fuck about that business. You think either of them actually give a fuck about their restaurant?
No.
They don't even know what the fuck they're doing.
I don't think Schwartz even gives a fuck about Sandoval. Really. My mom, actually, Dorothy she said last, she goes, Schwartz is the axis of evil. She said that. She goes, I think Sandoval's dumb and narcissistic, but she thinks Schwartz was encouraging him and sort of being like, well, he's going to take the heat at some point.
Yeah.
Which is like, I don't know if I buy it fully, but I think that he is a real source of bad.
Yeah. And I think that Schwartz also liked having Raquel and likes having Raquel around too, because she fawns over him in the same way she fawns over Sandoval, except that she doesn't like fuck him.
She's like
but he gets attention from like hot Raquel.
Yeah. And I think he's like, I think he was getting kind of a weird fix from being close to like this.
Yeah.
I think he was getting like kind of like adjacent, like latent homosexual, like
these men in their 40s who like, and Sandoval said this kind of to Ariana where he was like, I'm turning 40 and like this is all I have to show for it, like blah blah blah, which is like, okay, rude. Like
this is a great, you live in $1 million
amazing,
house.
A great house,
you have
and
a
like
beautiful partner. You're
on a fucking really popular show. Sorry that it's like at this point, sorry that it was coming to an end because of your own idiocy, not being able to give the razzle dazzle that the customers needed. But now like your life is pretty good.
Yeah.
For like how talentless you are and what a dum-dum you are, you're actually like killing it, mate.
That was a really shitty thing to say. And
but like, think about it. Sandoval is like one of the luckiest people in the entire world. Anyone that found themselves on Vanderpump Rules was also, their time was about to run the fuck out for most of them, except for the younger ones, who's like Ariana, Scheana. But like Kristen, Sandoval, Jax, Schwartz, Katie, all older, like dead end SUR job, no real acting or musical prospects to speak of. I don't think the phones were ringing off the hook for them. I mean, Scheana at least had like a thriving music career. Ariana was like backup dancing and also just like out of college. But like the elders, it was about to be quitting time for their stint in LA. And this show came along and let them have fame, money,
and partying,
their favorite things.
They got to be young for another like 10 years and like
and get attention
and be dramatic and like be bitchy and like get wasted
and get paid and be like kind of like dancing monkeys for everyone to laugh at, but then ultimately have the last laugh because then they're rich. And the fact that this is the best he could do with the gifts that he was given is very telling, and he should actually be very grateful for that.
He has no gratitude, no foresight, no like.
And neither does Schwartz, who, by the way, is even luckier than Sandoval because he hasn't had to do shit.
No, Sandoval at least like has done some things. Schwartz is like,
they're embarrassing, but like Schwartz hasn't even tried.
Schwartz hasn't even made it through a single shift of work.
He barely gets dressed every day and is still doing pretty well.
Yeah, and has an apartment. By the way, as we found out, Schwartz's apartment is where Sandoval was fapping. Which is so nasty. His loveness. So
I don't think I've ever jerked it in a friend's apartment. No. I certainly wouldn't on FaceTime.
No.
Be like FaceTime fucking someone.
Yeah.
So Sandoval says this to Schwartz. He goes, Schwartz is like, I always told you. Also, he's like trying to save his own ass here. Where he's like, I told you right from the beginning when you told me just 1 month ago. And then I told you immediately, like, you got to do something about this. Like, you got to tell Ariana, right, man? You remember, like, when you told me and I was like, you're a horrible liar.
And he's a bad friend.
You're just a really idiot. And Sandoval goes, I wanted to tell her, and then every time I almost started to, I got the vibe that she didn't want to fucking know. And it's like, yeah, you dumb fuck. She did not want to know. That vibe was a great read on the vibe. She didn't want to know. No one wants to know that you're fucking their best friend for the past 7 months. But that doesn't mean that you don't tell them.
Well, also, at one point, in the initial combo with Ariana, she goes, so what are you going to do? What are you going to see Rachel next? And he goes, tomorrow. And she goes, are you going to like hug and kiss her when you see her? And he goes, I don't know. And she goes, well, you should have just said no.
He's truly
stupid
on another planet. And Sandoval says they had problems for 5 years, blah, blah, blah. And if she really wanted to know, and
he could have followed her.
She goes, all she'd do is follow me.
What?
Like
that would be like, that's embarrassing. And like, I've never been like, I'm going to follow Simon.
No, I think that if you get to a point where you're thinking, I need to follow my partner to make sure that they're telling me the truth, that's the beginning of the end. You got to really do something about that.
So we thankfully get away from the shithole.
Everyone's having a vigil for Ariana.
Logan's there.
Logan, Brad, who looks shocked.
Who's Brad again?
I don't know, but he's around.
He's shocked.
Meredith.
Queen.
Scheana comes over, bucket hat on.
Ariana took her bucket hat and plopped it on Sheena's head. And Ariana walks in and she goes, hey. And she has camel crushes.
I thought she brought joints.
Oh.
I think she said I brought joints for you. I hope they were camel crushes.
I think she brought cigarettes too.
Okay, work.
Chaining.
Slay.
Ariana's just downing wine at like whatever time it is.
Scheana sits down. She's like, this isn't like they kissed like once on acid at Coachella and we're sad about it. That would be forgivable. And I was like, it really would be forgivable. Like Scheana is so wise.
And then Katie just like magically appears and at one point I said she kind of looks like Sandoval in this moment.
She was serving Sandoval at Schwartz's.
It was like very...
Katie's been sucked back into Tom Schwartz's sick world.
She kind of has.
She's been fully sucked back in.
She's kind of like babying him. She's letting him into her house.
She literally did not trade me. She didn't do it after all. I rooted hard.
Trade me. We rooted for trade. Didn't happen. So Katie's like,
Trade Me was defeated and is now gone silent but not forgotten. I do believe Trade Me is simmering.
I pray to God Trade Me. So they start talking.
Wait, Katie comes over and
she
walks.
Goes, lay it on me.
She walks over and then Scheana looks up from her spot on the floor and she goes, I think we can put aside our differences for one day. And I was like, Scheana is the boss.
I'm telling you, she's the heart of the show. Come on, she is the spirit. She's like the true spirit of VPR.
No, it would not be Vanderpump Rules without Scheana Shay. It would not.
Sit down. So they sit and then Ariana like says everything. And then we find out that the more she pressed Tom, first he said they only kissed the first night after See You Next Tuesday at the Abbey. But it turns out after pressing Tom more, they fucked in Raquel's car, and then he didn't have his keys, so he went up and proceeded to bang on the door and have Ariana let him in the house.
And then he got mad at her when she like made him tell her that. Yeah. He was psycho.
He was mad at her.
I literally like blocked out this tidbit, even though I watched the trailer where it said it. Yeah. I was like, I can't absorb that.
No. He fucked her.
It's so dark-sided.
They fucked immediately.
Just the ongoing lie, and I'm haunted by the lies, and I'm haunted by the fact that he keeps saying that they had these problems for 5 years and like yet he still bought a house together. He was like later on he's like, it was a Band-Aid. I was like,
no, it's
a house is not
$2 million house.
No, that's not a Band-Aid. Like, babe, if you don't want to be in a relationship, like you must say that and you must act. You can't just like, the men will just sit around.
I don't fully buy that he wasn't into the relationship at that point.
But like, I mean, I buy it actually.
You do?
Yes and no. I think that it's really hard to break up with someone when you love them.
Yeah.
It just is hard.
Yeah.
But the right thing to do is to break up with that person. Or it's either you're at a crossroads. You either decide, yes, I'm going to break up with this person, or I love them and like maybe I see a future and I'm going to make this work.
Yeah.
But you don't linger in this neither world space. And I mean, I'm sure women do this too in relationships, but I feel like
men do it more.
Men do it way more. They will linger in this place of like not being into the relationship, but not really trying to make it work. Like they'll just linger until eventually the girl pulls the plug.
Yeah. He didn't want to be, he didn't have the balls.
He had no balls.
Where are your balls?
Literally eunuch vibes.
So then they like kind of like break something of Sandoval's and then all kind of kiki, and it's a cute moment. But Scheana then admits to
she assaulted Rock.
And it was sad. It was like a total friend moment, but she said that she like pushed her really hard and her nail scratched her face, and then she said Raquel turned her face into a wall, and I was like, I think maybe
I think it just like Scheana lost control. She's emotional.
And she goes, and I went back to the hotel room, and then apparently and then Katie says, yeah, Schwartz told me that fucking Raquel called Schwartz and being like, Scheana hurt me.
See, I think that Schwartz likes to be party to this relationship.
He wants to be in it.
Yeah.
And Raquel, but also like, fuck you, Raquel. Like, oh, you're gonna call, like, I'm sorry. It's like, she's like a girl who's like, that feels very like wormy to be like calling the guy.
Yeah.
She hurt me.
It's psychotic.
It's psychotic behavior.
Well, also Ariana was like, this woman is like, has no sense of self and is just defining herself through men. And that's what she's doing with you and Schwartz. And like, no.
She's right.
Katie says that, but BravoCon, she was weirded out and that Rock was wearing that Tom Tom sweatshirt and asked Schwartz about it. Because also, we just need to pour one out for Trade Me, honestly, because...
Trade Me. It's upsetting.
It's real. I'm really sad, and I'm also embarrassed.
Last week I was like, Trade Me is here.
I'm fucking humiliated because someone was like, a lot of people joined the Patreon, and then I saw someone comment like, God, I subscribe to this podcast to get away from everyone standing Katie. I'm so sick of it. And I was like, Trade Me. I was like, Trade Me has risen. You will never know daylight again. Trade Me. And then Trade Me went underground.
Trade Me's dormant. Trade Me's dormant like a fucking...
It's dormant. It's like a cicada.
It's like a cicada. I just had the same thought. It's total like every 20
Every 17 years, Trade Me comes out.
Jeepers Creepers. Every 23rd spring, the creeper emerges.
You hear a buzz in the tree. Trade Me has arrived. And that's the only time. And then it goes dormant.
She's dormant.
We're going to have to wait till Schwartz is 52 to see Trade Me again. And she will be friends with him until then.
She'll be friends with him. They'll be like, she'll be taking care of him when he's old. And like,
she will be changing his diapers.
Yeah. We
can only hope, and I will never give up hope, that one day, maybe even if it's the final day of his life, and she's been wiping his ass for him for years, rolling him through the halls of the nursing homes, tending to his bed sores.
And he's chosen.
But on the very last
he's
day,
chosen not to upload.
As he takes his final breath,
she goes,
trade me.
She goes, I get the last laugh. She goes, I've uploaded our consciousness together. You will be my slave for 1,000 years.
She goes, what she does is she slowly grips his neck and he goes, Bubba, what? And she goes, I preserved a genetic copy of your body at your youngest and your hottest. And she goes, and I have uploaded my consciousness to the cloud. Soon as you die, I will upload my consciousness to that version of your body, and trade me will be complete. And he goes,
live as Schwartz.
She will live as
She'll live
as herself in the body when you were at your most attractive. You will.
She'll live amongst us again for 1,000 years. It's so short.
Just so short, and trade me will finally be complete. And then she just watches the life go out of his eyes. The last thing he hears is, trade me.
She goes,
that's the only way. That's the only way I can justify her actions.
Body swapping. She goes, see you in hell. Trade me. And he goes, ah.
And then he dies. And then trade me is officially initiated once and for all. This is the only way. I was literally like, Katie, what are you doing?
I loved seeing.
I have her number in my phone, by the way. I realized
text her,
recently.
trade me.
I should trade me. What will it take to
get back to it?
I'm gonna send her a voice. I should send her a voice note.
Do it today.
I should do it late at night and then make someone sneak into her house and press play so she hears it while she's asleep and I can incept her with trade me.
Going.
We have to move on.
It's late.
Scheana, wait. Okay, Tom goes to Raquel's apartment. That's the smallest apartment I've ever seen, actually.
She still has that bone-chilling C'est la vie kitchen art, and the galaxy lights are on, and he walks in and he's like, hey, Graham. Graham knows who he is.
Graham's like never been so excited. He's like, it's fuck time.
No, and like, when I saw the lights, I was like, and at one point Tom goes, can we like cut some lights in here? And I was like, they fuck with these lights on.
They do.
I was disgusted by that.
But they also had the raw sexual vibes. Their sex vibes were very strong.
They were like,
it was electric.
It was raw.com, but it was also like, it felt unsustainable.
But it was also like,
it freaked me out.
Yeah, it was freaky. You could tell that
and they were like,
they weren't on the same page with what they were going to say.
No.
And then Raquel kept trying to just mirror him. She was like, because there was one point she was like, how's your family? And she was like, or we don't have to talk about that. Never mind. Or if whatever you want to do. And then
he goes, how's your mom? Does your mom hate me? And she goes, yeah, she's not happy with you.
And then there was one other moment that I was like, holy shit, where he said like, I love something. I love them or something. And she goes, I love you. And he goes, no, I said, I love that. And I was like,
he goes, but I love you, Raquel. And I was like, oh no.
At that point, Raquel should have entered Trade Me. Because if
she, by the way,
she's also,
her vibe is clearly someone that hasn't slept. Or maybe she has slept. I think she's sleeping.
Maybe she's been sleeping
she
a little
looks
too much.
Giddy in that interview.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's like excited.
But in that interview, she's like, it's just like kind of happened.
I kind of feel for her because there's one point.
I have a giant.
Don't put it in my pillow.
No, I didn't. I felt bad for her too, but I was also like,
when they were on the couch and she was like, I mean, it's like, sometimes I think, like, can I be with this guy who he cheated on his partner so easily, threw her aside? Won't he do the same to me? And I was like, yes, and he will.
And he goes, no, don't even say that. I'm like, he's telling you right now.
Yeah.
He's saying, yes, I'm going to cheat on you.
And she's like, I have no one. I only have my family and you. And I got a chill because I was like, he kind of wants that in some way.
Yeah, because he wants like he wants this like
all encompassing like fuck in the car. I'm also like, you're a man going through a midlife crisis and it's sad.
There's galaxy lights.
40-year-old man acting like you're 20 because you're like scared or ashamed that your life isn't in the place that you thought it was. But bro, like, just accept it and move on. Don't just torch everything for these moments that don't matter long term.
He's an addict, I think. This is like addict behavior.
It is.
And he wants her in this place because he wants this like young thing to be like enamored with him. It's a little like Svengali.
It is, but it's not going to work long term, I don't think.
It's not, but I'm also like, at the same time, as much as I do feel for her, because it's like, imagine being like 28 and like everyone hates you. I don't know. But also like...
But that's old enough to know better.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, like...
You did this.
You brought this on yourself, Raquel. And she doesn't seem to have much remorse. She's like... It went so horribly wrong.
Yeah, she's like laughing. I can't tell if it's because she's uncomfortable or if she's like...
I think both.
There's no even like...
How's Ariana?
Even just like a moment of like, oh, I wish I hadn't done this to Ariana.
No.
It's very strange.
Thank God we got away from that. Ariana goes
Tom, or does Katie go to Schwartz's house?
I think first Ariana goes to Lisa's, and then she like, Lisa and her are both wearing blue.
I know, and they hug. It's kind of like a whatever.
She's like, oh, darling.
Darling, will get better, I will. I love it. Are you depressed?
Are you depressed?
This takes me back to Are You Depressed era.
Are you depressed?
And I was like, it was starting then.
It was. My dear girl, are you depressed? So then...
Katie goes to Schwartz's...
No, Schwartz goes to Katie's.
Oh, yeah.
With the doggies. And she lets him in. It's like a vampire. You can't let him in.
I know.
And I wanted to go... I got new rules. I got them. If you're under him,
you know what I hate and I call
if he's
you
under
alone.
you ain't getting over him. I got new rules. I got them.
There's a moment where Schwartz is on the couch with Katie and their dog Gordo is like sitting on him, and even the dog is like bad vibes.
Katie, I will say some Trade Me did come out in this moment because she's kind of like, no, you know. She goes, you knew the whole time. And he's like, no, I didn't. She goes, Tom, you knew the whole time. And he goes, okay.
She goes, I asked you at BravoCon what was going on, like why was Raquel there, and you said to me, trust me, I'm not the one she's here for. He goes, I didn't say that.
She's like, yeah, you did, Tom.
She was like, you did, and that was in October, like you knew since September.
And he's like, no, you know, I just
he goes, dude, I'm just a dude trying to get by, health, wealth, and my family. They're man-eating Nile crocodiles in Florida. I was like...
He's like Bradley Cooper in Star is Born. He's like Bradley Cooper pissing his pants at the Grammys. And then she goes, you sound like you're in a country song. He goes,
oof, flop energy. Then Ariana is waiting and waiting. Side note on dogs knowing things. The first shot of Ariana like in her house, Maya was sitting there on the couch like upright. I was like, she has seen the whole thing through. She was like, and now we all must know the universal truth.
She knew the whole time.
She did.
And then
Doute flops up the driveway.
You know what? She was a really. I thought they made it look like she was like. Her presence was really like soothing,
grounding, calming.
She soothed Ariana.
Doute is Gaia.
Very gracious. Ariana was like, I feel like in a way bad because I sort of did this to you. And she goes, Ariana, come on. Like, our relationship was a joke. Like, don't compare this. And so I was like, I think it was big of her, even though like it was like a destructive, bad relationship, her and Tom, and it was like right for him to get out of it and be with Ariana. Like, I think anyone could be like, yeah, that was shitty. You know what I mean? But she took like, she was the bigger person in this moment.
She is peace.
And she encourages her to light some tensions on fire.
Rock and love.
Rock and love. They go out back and they burn things.
They burn some stuff and there's a crystal or two.
Just a little witchy.
You were saying you would love to have Doute come over in a crisis such as this.
Nobody takes me in a crisis. No, I feel like she would be like in a crazy tragedy or like some kind of fucked up shit. She would be like, all right. She'd be fun. She'd be good to like sit Shiva with you and like be like, okay, what do you need me to do?
Make
like,
sure the appetizers.
Make sure like the,
are good. The sandwiches get restocked.
Yeah, and like make sure lasagna's coming over and
make you a plate.
What's that dish that's just like a bunch of shit with cheese on it? Not lasagna.
Pizza?
No, it's like a pasta. It's like chicken.
Piccata?
No. It's like a hodgepodge of things with like cheese on it.
A casserole?
Casserole. It's late. It's like bringing over like the grief casseroles.
Yeah.
Like, come on in,
Like
so,
what Vicky would want.
Yeah. So she's like I felt soothed by her presence.
Sandoval then goes to Lisa's in the dead of rain. And I have to say, the rain made me wish that I could cuddle up at Villa Rosa.
Me too.
On a rainy day.
That's like in the eternal rains that we were having.
It would have been so nice to be able to cozy there.
Her housekeeper answers and he has like a weird, vaguely Spanish accent when he speaks to her. It was a little weird. Other people noted that, not just me.
I know. He's like, I was just coming in because I was outside.
She's like, okay.
She's like, okay, good in there.
Lisa's back there. And then Lisa walks over and she goes, hello, Tom. Don't really think this is a hugging affair.
She's like, blah, blah, blah.
You fucked up. And then at one point he does like a full like.
He thinks that this is the moment to have his soliloquy like breakdown. And I'm like, the fact that you have chosen this instance and this person to do it in front of, and you haven't shown that to like your person
partner
that you actually hurt is so telling of your character.
You're fucked for that. He goes over to the window and he goes, oh, ah! And then Lisa goes out, Tom, and then of course she's gonna be like, Mother.
Lisa knows what he needs though. Like
she went.
You want sucky?
But he went over and she went, no, Tom, don't cry. You're not a bad person. You just did a bad thing.
Just remember that.
I'm like, okay.
The histrionics and like the performance.
This also was like great. Like men are hysterical and women are like.
Men are insane.
And like
women are really just intuitive and like rational. And when they call you on something as a man, the reaction is to say, oh no, this woman's a fucking psycho bitch. But really, like, you're the psycho she has
bitch.
Your number, and that's that.
And you're the psycho bitch.
And you're an absolute unhinged person for this performance, but also never stop. I'm gonna need more of that in season 11.
I loved it.
So ramp yourself up, do whatever you need to do before the scene to make it happen.
Yeah,
but this is great. Notes.
He seemed a little jittery.
I would be too. I'm sure he's very stressed.
I feel like he like blew a little hot rail in the car or something. He looks like someone
he's Todd Peterson vibes.
Yeah, he looks pale. Like it's giving someone that's on drugs.
Yeah. Katie, Scheana, Lala, Ariana, and Scheana's sister Courtney.
And Charlie.
and Charlie. They give Charlie one line.
Yeah, it was like fucked up. They head to the worst.
They head to a rooftop
that Lara and I have both been at.
That has these lamps, these heat lamps that are truly Alice in Wonderland, like beyond.
This
garish.
was a bar that Lara and I were like walking through to get to another group of people, and we're both fairly tall.
Yeah.
And like for some reason we were in a crowd of bros who were like shorter than me, but somehow they didn't see me. They didn't see you.
It felt invisible vibes.
And we were being pinballed around. I was like, ah! It was like that. It was that picture of Kim lost in the paparazzi crowd going. Why didn't they see us?
I don't know.
Non-entities, gay and women.
At that moment, not their bag.
Not their bag.
Everyone reveals that Katie has facilitated for Tom Schwartz to like join them so he can have a sidebar combo with Ariana. Katie, god damn it.
Katie / producers. Producers need her to betray me.
I know. Can some producer please? I know that you listen to this podcast. I know that someone must send you clips of this podcast. You've got to make Katie go treat me.
Ariana didn't seem happy with that.
No, well, she was just like, let's go over here and talk. Also, it's just such a pussy. Like, why don't you, as a man, reach out and man up and tell this person if you really feel like you're sorry. If you're not sorry, like by all means shut the fuck up and I never talk to me again vibes. But like if you're a real man, you reach out and say something and set up a time on your own. You don't go through like mama to like you don't get mommy to just like
he came over in his like sweats.
He is disrespectful.
Disrespectful. No empathy.
No empathy.
Remember, Katie, the way you're disrespectful. No empathy. Disrespectful. No, you're disrespectful.
No, this is a setup.
This is a fucking setup. That's what I would have said if I were Ariana.
It is Katie, a fucking setup.
Katie, this is disrespectful. This is no empathy.
Tom sits down and he goes, I just want you to know I'm really sorry for this whole thing. Shut up.
She basically says that.
Yeah.
She's like, she goes, Tom, we're not friends anymore. Like, I can't be friends with you.
He goes, well, he said like what he did was wrong, but he said he was handling it. And she goes, I'm not an it.
Yeah.
I'm not it.
And he goes, yeah. And then she goes, we're not friends anymore. So like, this is after this, like, I don't see you anymore. And he goes, oh man.
I like run up in the background and just like smash a bottle over his head.
I was proud of her in that moment.
Yeah. She's setting boundaries.
Because you could see him like worming his way. Being
I know.
Oh man. And I was like, good.
And then she says a really heartbreaking thing, which is that she misses Tom.
Well, yeah.
Even though she doesn't even know who she misses. It's sad.
She misses. Yeah, it is really sad.
The way that she was like, and the way that their relationship was kind of like set up when Schwartz speaks to this, and it's got mentioned, but it was like confirmed a lot of suspicions that I've long time held, which were that they had, Ariana and Sandoval had an agreement that like they weren't going to air out like each other, humiliate each other, air out their dirty laundry on camera, which became very evident in the Miami Girl of it all. And then like the fact that she knew about Miami Girl, but they just had a pact and she did have his back. And she said, she was like, I was your ride or die. And I'm like, she really was, because it would have been so easy to be like, this man is so fucking stupid, like I can't stand him. And if any time that she had done that, so many people were waiting to be like, you're right, fuck him, me included. Everyone gave him the benefit of the doubt because she loved him. She painted, it was like if Ariana there must be something good in him if she's with him. Mm-hmm. She gave him credibility. I know. And now he has none. He squandered it. Schwartz. We forgot the James calling Raquel. Also, she just immediately answered. I was like, in my head, I'm like, she's probably waiting for someone to call her. Yeah, she wants a friend.
And he's like, and she thinks she's gonna get it. He goes, so Raquel, are you like an item now with Sandoval? And she goes, no. And then he's like, are you like kissing and like doing all that stuff? And then she's like, James, I can't talk to you about this.
He is what? Are you gonna his 40-year-old cocky cock?
His stinky.
You're gonna suck his cocky cock, his stinky 40-year-old cock.
And Allie's going, everyone in Lala, they're all going, no, turn it up. And they're all laughing. It is really funny, but then
it was funny when it was
mean.
Like, you're bullying a girl. Like, this girl does not know what. It just took me back to being like in high school, being like waking up to 20 text messages from like boys in high school calling me a slut. Like, it was kind of vibe is like made me uncomfortable. It was not funny.
It was funny, but it was
his stinky 40-year-old cock.
Because I love cocky cock. And he goes,
you dilly-dallied your way. You dilly-dallied your way into lots of trouble. I was like, his British really came out.
And she goes,
he was pish-posh. Or no, that was Doute who later was like pish-posh about me. I was
Georgie Porgy, pudding and pie, kiss the girls.
Kiss the girls and make him cry. You want to suck his cocky cock.
You want to suck his stinky 40-year-old cocky cock, Georgie Porgy. And she goes,
yeah,
James,
maybe.
I am not going to talk to you. And then it's silent for a minute. And he goes, are you there? And she goes, yes. I'm like, bitch, hang the fuck up. Go.
Why did you answer?
Go keep your phone on Do Not Disturb.
The thing is, I feel like she would answer the phone for anyone.
I could call her right now.
I know. If we had her number, we could call her and she probably would pick up.
Hey.
Scheana's reading comments at her house. She was like, someone said this, and Brock was like, who said that? And she goes, someone on Patreon. And I was like,
yes.
I was like,
the Patreon
Queen.
Family is big. We're all behind the paywall.
Love our Patreon followers and commenters. They make the world go round.
Shout out to Lydia.
She's no different.
And so there's a knock on the door, and Brock, he goes, I'll get it. And he walks over, and Tom is there. Tom's just making like demonic house calls all over Los Angeles.
Swooping in like the fucking Grim Reaper.
It's a giant box of Brock's shoes. And
Brock goes, I'm going to take Summer out so you guys can talk. And then he goes, oh, what you got? And
thinking it's like a gift, like a
it looks like a gift.
A sympathy gift.
And Sandoval goes, Joe, just a package and was on the front porch. I was like, flop.
And Brock goes, all right.
That was to me the funniest moment of the entire. Yeah. I lolled like for a long.
Just a package.
He goes, what do you got? He goes, oh, just a package.
Brock was like, oh, you've got a gift for me.
I know, he was excited. I was excited. I was like, what does he have? Yeah. What did he bring them? Little flowers in a box or something? No, he just picked up. God damn it, Sandoval.
Also, Scheana is
can't do anything right.
Scheana is her eyes are so red and puffy. I'm like, I get it. Like, she's mourning. I think it just shook her foundation.
Everything that she and Sandoval opened up Villa Blanca together. They go so far back.
He knew her when
they're blood siblings.
Yeah, they were like she starts.
They were in those Villa Blanca trenches together.
They were in that fucking retirement home cafeteria.
They both like got jobs at Villa Blanca and had nothing going except for their jobs at Villa Blanca and each other.
This was sad. She was like, when the show first started, like he was the only one that was nice to me, and like. At our first photo call at upfronts for Bravo.
Put the mic closer.
At the upfronts at Bravo, everyone was on the red carpet and no one would ask me to come over. And he's like, come on. And he put his arm around her and brought her over. So like, he did have like, he used to be like, I think he used to be, I don't know what he's become, but he had some redeemable qualities.
He's always rooted for the underdog.
He has.
And this time, it bit him in the cocky cock.
He took it a little too far.
Yeah, he got under the dog.
He got under the underdog. But she sits down and he's like, Ariana and I just had fucking problems for so long. And she goes, well, you didn't. He goes, I felt like I needed to break up with her. And she goes, well, you didn't do that. You fucked her best friend.
She goes, so then why did you buy a house?
And he's like, it was like a Band-Aid. I thought it would fix it. She goes, you don't buy a house.
Scheana has his number.
She's really upset.
And then she tells him that they're not friends anymore. And she's really sad about it.
She's like, that really hurts me because I really loved you as a friend.
I felt really bad for Scheana in this moment.
This was raw and genuine. And then she's like, she goes, I have to go make dinner for my baby.
I feel like I've seen such a different side of both Ariana and Scheana.
Yeah.
And I respect them so much as women.
I was
and
emotional.
Just people.
I was crying a little watching Scheana be upset.
She was on the beat but upset at the same time. she won't let her emotions stop her from being on the beat.
No, she had a wire.
She's like, and why?
Why did you have a house?
Then why do you have a house?
But that was sad. She's like, I'm gonna miss you. And he's like, no. And she goes, I gotta make food for my baby. And she skittles off to the kitchen. And then he's like, I'll just see myself out.
Ugh.
And he just walks home, I guess. He walks into the sea.
But you know what? He does like this attention.
He does. Ariana was on Watch What Happens Live, and she was like, I really think he's into this.
I can tell from his body language that he very much is. And even him being like, and I said it when we watched the reunion teaser, and he's being like, cameras off, man, no more I was like, no, that's a person that loves the cameras on them.
It's all about him.
It is.
Any attention is bad attention, or any attention is good attention.
So page 6 said that they broke up, or that they were broken up.
Ariana doesn't believe it because she said that just a few days ago she found Ariana said
you can pull it down.
Oh,
you can adjust it. Just make sure it's in front of your mouth.
Catholic. Ariana says that just a few days ago, Raquel sent letters to Tom that came to their house because Tom and her are still in the same house.
Yeah, and she's going to sell it and get the fuck out of there. Get her money out. Good for her.
But she said that she didn't open them, obviously. She's like, that was a crime. But I saw letters and Andy goes, from her treatment center. And she goes, I guess, I don't know. So I think that was a PR thing. I don't think they're broken up.
All of their PR moves are just like mind boggling to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is so not the way to handle this situation.
No, it's really weird.
Trying to say Scheana assaulted you, trying to accuse people of passing around revenge porn.
Yeah.
Like trying to, then there was a moment where it was like, oh, Sandoval just took advantage of her. Then it was like, she's got to go to treatment. And it's like,
I'm a love addict. I'm a sex addict, all this shit. And it's like, just, no one can ever just be like, I did a shitty thing.
But you know what?
What?
I see a road to something for Raquel. I see a way back.
Into the fold?
Not necessarily into the fold, but like some sort of
redemption. I
don't know. I don't
think anyone's ever beyond redemption.
No, I don't think so either.
I mean,
and I feel like it's more available. Have more goodwill. What?
Horses is.
Oh yeah.
he's beyond redemption.
That chef is.
That ship has sailed, but
like for Raquel, I just am intrigued to see what's next.
She's young.
I hope to see the next chapter.
I want Sandoval to be on just to see him like flop.
Yeah, that's what I want, is like the flop tour with the three of them. And I think they will end up just gravitating towards each other naturally because now they're like trauma bonded.
Well, they don't have any friends.
Yeah.
Well, guys.
Did we miss anything?
No.
It was so hard to take notes and watch.
No, it was I think we got the feeling.
We got the gist.
Let's shout out our culties. Speaking of Patreon, we love all of you in that Patreon right now.
God,
lighting up those comments. Everyone,
I love you. I love you. I love you.
Thank you for all your nice things you're saying and everything. You can be part of that if you join for $5 a month.
Well, babe, it's $6.
If you join for $6 a month.
Love you though.
Love you.
Oh, we've got some new ones. Claire Walker. Jacqueline. Kelly Hafner. Mary
Brannigan.
Courtney Kesselman. Carrie Whitmer. Trench Ghoul
all the way.
Mariah
Carey.
Rochelle Martino. Hillary Morrow. Alicia Gandhi. Nick Sidieris. Emily. Heather Keltai.
Love Heather Keltai.
Kim Lucas,
a tried and true.
Catherine Ryder. Jeffrey Pradama. God, I'm obsessed.
Prada.
2 gays. A lot of women.
This is how we. That's the ratio.
That's how we roll.
That's our podcast ratio. I hope everyone's
If you all are recovering, I feel like I need to watch that episode again. It was just, I have to say, so beautifully shot.
It was. They went like the Sofia Coppola wrote.
I'm still just in shock and will be processing and
for days.
I'm ready for the reunion, but I needed this finale more than I need the reunion.
I need to like take some space.
I was so like, I felt like my life had come to a standstill on Tuesday, and I was like, I don't know what to do with myself until this reunion airs.
I think it feels like a peak of something.
Today was a really weird day.
It was.
It was a weird ass fucking day. But we got through it.
We did.
And now it's tomorrow.
It is.
It literally is. It's tomorrow. Guys, we love you so much. Thank you for listening to the pod. And we'll trade me on Wednesday for the Patreon bonus. Bye.